Hello, it's me, David Earl Moravy, and my musing for today is I've always been interested in visiting one particular attraction in a nearby town, and I've never done that. So I am going to go to Julian, California today, a mountain town in San Diego County, which has a little history. And I want to have some famous apple pie, which they're famous for. Also, there's a great little diner there that has great food. I want to eat there. And then I also want to go to the Eagle Mine, which is an old gold mine right there in Julian, California. And that is my musing for today. Why have I not gone to the Eagle Mine before? I don't know. I've lived like 30 years of my life here, more than 30 years of my life in San Diego County, and I've never visited the Julian Eagle Mine, and so I'm going to do that today. Here we are in Julian, California, downtown. So here we are, Julian, California. Going to have some food and then have some apple pie. Famous. Come on in. Miner's Diner in Julian, California has an old-fashioned soda fountain. The diner is operated within the historic Levi and Company building, which was the first brick building erected in Julian back in 1885. And the soda fountain was installed back in 1928. And there's great food here. I recommend it to anyone. Nice environment, good food, a little choo-choo train on the inside of the restaurant, and a nice time. One iconic place in Julian is the Julian Gold Rush Hotel, which used to be called the Robinson Hotel. It was built in 1897 by Albert Robinson and Margaret Toll Robinson. They were, at one time, they were slaves, and they became free African Americans, and they opened up this hotel to cater to the gold rush craze that was going on, and anyone else. It's a great little hotel. I personally have not yet stayed in there. I want to do it sometime, but definitely it is historic in many ways. It's also the oldest continuing operating hotel in Southern California. A day in Julian, California, taking a hike from the downtown up to the Eagle Mining Company Gold Mine Museum. Here's where they used to mine for gold in Julian, California.
But we're here at the entrance to the Eagle Mine. It was started up back in 1870 by a guy named Billy Moran. He was the mine owner here. And parked right out front, we have some of the original mining equipment these guys were using.
gold mine.
They had to drill them by hand. And they have this flared out bit-shaped end on the end of this bar. They would put that up against a rock wall, and a couple other workers would take turns swinging a sledgehammer on the other end until they drove these bars 4 feet in the wall every time. And this bit-shaped end is flared out so that the hole being bored is slightly larger than the bar, and that keeps it from binding up and getting stuck in the rock wall. And every time the end of the bar was hit with a hammer, the pull guy would just give it a quarter turn. That gave you kind of a drilling action as they went into the rock. Now when they encounter these quartz veins while digging the main tunnel through is when they start digging these side tunnels that branch off. They're basically chasing that vein of quartz through the earth. You see how that quartz rock is right there at the top of the tunnel all the way back. Now this other rock on either side of the quartz vein was just useless heavy rock to the miners back in the old days.
Watch your step, Patricia. Really good. Watch your step.
And when they found this formation, they thought it was kind of star-shaped, so of course they named it the star vein. There's a lot of gold, silver, and copper in these thin veins right here. They were really after a high production for the gold mine. They were after veins of rock 10 inches thick or better. So they left all the old real thin quartz veins. And a little farther in, you can see how rich in gold they are. You can see all the gold sparkling right there in the wall in little stripes. All the repairs these miners were doing to their tools and equipment they were using for the operation, they had to do all the repairs right here inside the gold mine.
Just looking around. Yeah, hold on, I'll be over there.
We still have the hoist machine that was doing all that heavy lifting too, right around the corner in the hoist room. We're going there next, but on our way around the corner here, if anyone brought their own lights, you should get it out now because you can see how much gold is still left behind in the mountain right here in the walls. There was 4 of these large wood beams over the access shaft, and they supported the pulley system that the spool of cable looped through to bring that bucket straight up the access shaft. Now this hoist machine is a 10 horsepower machine that ran on pretty much any flammable liquid. And the last time they fired this thing up was back in 1934, and it ran on Applejack whiskey. Now to communicate the instructions from the lower levels of the mine to the hoist operator up here, every mine level below us has one of these brass bells, and they ring those in a series of rings for the commands on the list right here. And this was a standardized bell system for mining back in the 1870s throughout California, and they still use it in some mines today. And back then they really built things to last. The bell still works on the smoke pipe here.
Yes, sir. Perfect. All right, very good. You want to do one more time? All right.
My name is Kim Gordon, and I'm one of the tour guides at the Eagle and High Peak Mine. I've been working here for about 30 years myself. I worked for the family that owns the mine. It's been in their family for at least 50 years. The present owners are the grandchildren of the grandfather whose concept was to restore these gold mines and to give tours to the public. And they have been giving tours here for almost 50 years. The town of Julian wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the gold mine, so you pretty much have to see the gold mine to understand what was going on that even caused the town to be here. We do tours, educational tours. We talk about how they gold mine, the geology here. We also get into a little bit of history, but the actual big attraction here is going inside the mine. We go on 2 levels of the mine. We enter the Eagle mine and we exit out the High Peak mine. This is the entrance, as you can see, at one of about 200 gold mines that set up shop in the year 1870. They all started that year, and most of the people that were involved with it including the founding fathers, were from Georgia. They had left this right after the Civil War. Most of them were ex-Confederate soldiers, freed slaves. We have a lot of history of Southerners in this town. And everything seemed from the historical accounts to run rather smoothly, which isn't the way gold rush towns usually were. We had more of a calm atmosphere here, and a lot of that was due to the founding fathers, who were Mike Julian and his cousins, the Baileys. Drury Bailey in particular was just set a really nice tone. He was a nice guy that looked after just about everybody in town, and he was known to be very generous and just set a good tone for this area.
In modern times, Julian is well known for its apple pie, and there are many places that make some good pie there. But in my opinion, the best is from the Julian Pie Company, which was established in 1986 by the Smothers family. It's so good that they had to expand their business in the 1990s. To open a second location in the nearby town of Santa Isabel. And now it's so massive that they can have pies at almost any local grocery store throughout San Diego County. And the pies are so good. But the best thing to do is to come to Julian and have a slice of pie right there, along with a little topping a la mode, I'll say, of ice cream. They have some nice cinnamon ice cream. Best thing ever. My recommendation, Julian Pie Company in Julian, California.
The Julian Pie Company started 35 years ago when Liz Smothers started peeling apples for a local pie shop. She was inspired by her mother to start baking.
We're pretty much doing the same thing today, that we did many years ago, and it's just sticking to the basic old-fashioned, using good ingredients, and I used to tell the bakers, the next pie you make is going to be better than the one that you've already made, so they're just constantly striving to get that best pie.
The Julian Pie Company has been using the same recipe since Smothers mastered it in 1986. Her oldest son, Dave, is now running the Julian Bakery to keep her legacy alive.
I think it goes back to her childhood. Her mom was a big pie maker and taught her the basics. And when she got out here, she tried the apple pies and thought she could do better. And so that was her driving force, was just to make a better apple pie like her mom taught her. In ~93, when we moved, we had 17 employees working out of this one building here. And it was just insane. I mean, we had, the bakers would come in the morning, and the people selling the pies would come in the afternoon. And it just was obvious that there was a market, and so the building in Santa Isabel became available, and so we just looked into converting that into a pie shop.
Due to its popularity and increased demand, the bakery opened the second location in 1992. The Julian Pie Company in Santa Isabel ships fresh pies to 130 stores across San Diego County. That bakery is run by Smothers' youngest son, Tim, who started the business at a young age.
I would rather be out with my buddies at the corner throwing the football, but my mom paid me 10 cents a crust, so I rolled pie crust by hand. And so between pie crust and, like I said, taking piano lessons, that was my childhood. But it's a beautiful thing. I grew up in the business. I love it. My brother is a part of the business as well, and it's wonderful to live in the backcountry and be able to make a living.
Liz Smothers leaves the business and operational management to her sons, which gives her plenty of free time to focus on her love of pie while still overseeing the business she created. From Julian, Casey McKinnon, KUSI News.
So we end our day in Julian with some great apple pie, and certainly recommend anyone else to come on out to Julian and spend a day. And also, you should find out towns in your area. Maybe there's special attractions there. Go visit those special attractions if you've never visited them before, because every day can be a new experience. All you have to do is search for that experience. So thank you very much for watching my videos. Please take care and subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe, like, and be at peace. Take care.